One day I come back from work feeling all tired on my body. And after that I have a rough day, so at the end I have just a few moments of free time. So I think, okay, let's sit down to work on my app. Work will make me feel better. And a couple of days later, the same situation happens. I come home, I have a few arguments with people, and I think, okay, let's just work. It will make me feel better. But then I catch this thought, and I think, hey, I believe there's something more to it. As it turns out, I found my leader. Welcome! My name is Daniel, and today you'll learn how to fix your life using the unusual method. That is, a method from writing that I call a lie arc. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Why should a writing technique work in real life, in your life? You see, writers are interesting creatures because while they work on their characters, their world, their stories, they have to make sure it is as real as possible. So a lot of writers have to do a solid research, and on top of that, the techniques they use touch on such things as history, politics, psychology. And that's why the techniques that work on characters can work on you, the more so that you are the main character in your life story. We will see how does this arc, a lie arc, work in writing, in fiction, and then we'll come to the practical part, that is, how to use it to fix your life. A lie arc has 5 elements: a ghost, a lie, a want, a truth, and a need. So, a ghost is a traumatic event or period that has left its mark on the character. Because of this ghost, of this event, the character has started to believe a lie about themselves, about other people, about the world. And because of that, they start to pursue their want. That is, some external goal that they believe will make them feel well. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Because what the character wants is not what they need. So they encounter the truth, that is, some less warped, more healthy belief about the reality that actually at the end of the story makes them get to their need. And then we have happy ending, or if it's a dramatic story, it's a sad ending. But nevertheless, we aim for a positive ending. Let's look at an example. Kaladin, a character from Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives, has this ghost that, during war, his younger brother, who he originally had to protect, had to take care of, dies during the war. And after that, a lot of people die that he had to take care of. So he started to develop Survivor's Guild. Because of that, he starts believing a lie. I kill those around me. Everybody. So he starts to pursue a certain want. That is, he starts isolating from people, like keeping his distance, but aims to protect them at all costs. And it's tough when you're at war and you want to protect every single life, because otherwise you're a failure. You're the one responsible for killing those people. So it leads to a lot of mental problems for him. And he comes across a truth that someone tells him, that there will be those I cannot protect. And while he experiments with this truth, after some period of time, he gets to the point where he accepts, that is, this need, that his younger brother's death is not his responsibility, but it was a choice his brother has made. And at the end of the story, he is more whole, he's more peaceful, and he kinda gets to the happy ending. For the rest of the story, I advise to read the book. What we see here is that a lie, while might be considered sometimes a source of strength. For example, tough ones don't need love. Or you can only trust yourself, not other people. Those lies, while they might seem beneficial, are a lie actually because they lead to some harms for characters. That's why in lie arc, a character has to overcome the lie because it's a source of misfortune, a source of his flaws. It causes him a lot of pain, actually. How to actually use it in your life? Let's take a list of steps. Step 1. You grab your notebook, paper one. You grab your pen, and on there you write 5 terms: ghost, lie, want, truth, and need. And now we're going to spend some time writing this out, optimally in 1-2 sentences for each point. Looking at the structure, let's see again how do the elements from a lie arc transfer to our lie arc. A ghost is a past event or period that has left an impact on you, and you know it. Sometimes you don't, but a ghost is a past event or a period that has left an impact on you. Because of this ghost, you start to believe something about yourself, the people, the world, that actually might be hurtful for you. So, and because of that, you pursue some want, you have some goals. Not every goal is a goal that has to come from the lie, but some do. What you need is something that you were missing during the ghost, during the time that was so impactful for you. There was something you were lacking, that if you were given this one thing, you would actually come out better from this. That's your need, that you actually have to give yourself right now. And the truth is a mindset, a way of thinking that will actually lead you to acting out the truth. When starting, you have 3 ways to start filling out this structure. You can start with your want, if that's what you know is certain. You can start with your lie if you know that oh, this thing I believe, it's a lie, it's hurting me. If you know this, that's what you start with. Or maybe you know that for sure this specific event was traumatic for you. Then that's what you start with. Basically, you start with any of the first 3 points that you are sure of, or at least you assume are true. Then you fill out the other 2 points from this first 3. Then you think about, okay, what was I lacking? What did I need back then that I have to give myself? And then you go to the truth, that is forming some mindset that will actually push you to fulfill this need. Let's look at an example. Let's say you know that your want, something you pursue, is a certain level of shallowness during conversations with people. That you have certain level and you don't want to go deeper. Like, it doesn't matter if it's your friend, a family member, or even a stranger. There's some certain point that you feel uncomfortable when going below it during talking. Let's say you know that this is a want you have, that you want to keep this level stable. Now, why do you want that? Like, what's something you believe about this? And after thinking, you might get to the thought that actually you believe that you have to hide yourself from people, or otherwise they will hurt you. And again, why do you believe that? What has happened that made you start believing this one thought? And then you might think, okay, there was this time at school or during a family meeting where someone has said or did something that made you feel put down and close off from people. Okay, now we have your ghost, your lie, and your want. You ask yourself then, okay, what did I need back then? There was a time, for example, where someone said or did something to you, you felt put down. What do you needed back then? And you might think, okay, what I did need was to stand up for myself. So my current need that I have to fulfill is to stand up for myself, learn to stand up for myself. Or in general, stand up when someone crosses my border. So, what's your truth? Something that you will replace the lie with, it will be a new way of thinking for you. And you might come to a realization that, okay, if I'll communicate that someone is crossing my borders, I can actually stay safe. Now, you've went through all the 5 elements of a lie arc and are on your way to fix your life. Now, why wouldn't you just fulfill the need and forget the truth? You see? All this time, you're believing a lie and you're acting it out. You actually were acting from a certain point of thinking. And to change that, it is not simple, just out of the blue. So, you need a new way of thinking. That's why we want to shape some new truth for you, a more healthy view of the world. Going to the other way, how would you know that something is a lie? As I said before, a lie is something that you believe that is actually hurting you. So if you see that the way you think about something brings you pain, harm, or some flaw act of behavior, it is a lie. I've gone through this framework a few times, a couple of times, and I've solved some of my traumas. Like, as I said at the beginning, there was this one time when I thought, work is what makes me feel better. That was a lie I was believing in. And after working on my traumas, I've seen that how I deal with work, how I deal with my family and other people, it changes for the better. So I encourage you to try it out. Take your notebook out, grab a pen, and actually work on it, because it's worth it. If you're going to, at the end, get to this happy ending, then all the work is worth it. But yeah, it does require hard work and experimenting, because from my experience, when you sit down to actually write down your traumas, your lies, your wants, and see that it's not good, you have to outgrow it. It's painful as starters, really. So it's going to be a tough work, but you will make it. If you work on it, you will make it. And you might not get it the first time, but as with characters, they also don't get their need fulfilled the first time. They came across the truth and they experiment with it. They test it out, see how deep they can go, see in which scenarios it applies. The same is you. It's with you. But as long as you keep going, you will get there. As was written in a certain book, the most important step a man can take is the next one. Always the next one. Before, I've shown you how the lie you believe in might actually hurt your relationships with people. And if you want to know more about this topic, here I've made a video about how to build a better connection with others. So, if you'll be ready to check it out, it is there for you.